Did you know that the oldest known remains of Homo sapiens weren't found in Europe or Asia, but in Africa? Specifically, in Ethiopia. Get ready to have your understanding of history completely transformed. We're diving deep into the often overlooked, mind-blowing achievements of ancient Africa. How many of these facts will surprise you? Let's find out. The discovery at Omo Kaibish in Ethiopia in 1967 wasn't just any old fossil find. These remains, dated back nearly 200,000 years using advanced techniques, are the oldest anatomically modern human fossils on Earth. This discovery cemented Africa's place as the undisputed cradle of humankind, writing textbooks and challenging Eurocentric views of human origins. But the surprises don't stop there. Imagine a mining operation so ancient, it predates the pyramids by tens of thousands of years. That's exactly what archaeologists unearthed at Ngwenya Mountain in Eswatini, formerly Swaziland. This hematite mine, dating back a staggering 43,000 years, is the oldest known mining operation in the world. Can you picture miners descending deep shafts with only fire to light their way, extracting red ochre for pigment? Over 300,000 artifacts, including primitive stone tools, evidence the scale of this prehistoric industrial site. And speaking of innovation, how about the earliest evidence of organized fishing? In Katanga, Democratic Republic of Congo, researchers discovered bone harpoons and a dagger dating back 90,000 years. These weren't just crude tools, they demonstrated a sophisticated understanding of aquatic resources and hunting techniques. This find proves that early Africans were not simply hunter-gatherers, but skilled engineers who developed technologies to thrive in their environment. Think about what this means for human development. But wait, there's more. Prepare to have your understanding of ancient political systems challenged. While many associate monarchy with ancient Egypt, evidence suggests that the oldest monarchy might actually be found in Nubia, in modern-day Sudan. At Kostal, archaeologists discovered artifacts dating back to 3200 to 3000 BC, predating even the first dynasty of Egypt. These royal insignia, unearthed in Cemetery L, depict rulers with falcon imagery, a symbol later adopted by Egyptian pharaohs. It even made the front page of the New York Times in 1979. Could Nubia have influenced the development of Egyptian royalty? The evidence points in that direction. What about early mathematics? The Ishango bone, discovered in the Democratic Republic of Congo, is a bone tool etched with a series of notches. Dated between 20,000 and 25,000 BC, these markings aren't just random scratches. The notches appear to represent a sophisticated understanding of arithmetic, including base 10 calculations and the tracking of lunar phases. One column even seems to display prime numbers. This suggests that Africans were engaged in complex mathematical thinking millennia before the Babylonians. Now, let's talk about monumental architecture. You've probably heard of the Great Wall of China, but have you heard of the Great Wall of Benin? Built between the 13th and 15th centuries in present-day Nigeria, this massive earthwork stretched for an estimated 16,000 kilometers. That's longer than the distance from London to New York. Dutch explorer Alfred Dapper, in the 17th century, confirmed its existence and scale. Amazingly, the Benin walls used an estimated 100 times more material than the Great Wall of China. And they weren't just for defense, they were also tree-lined for agriculture and functioned as an irrigation system. A truly impressive feat of engineering. We can't forget the pyramids. While Egypt is famous for its pyramids, the Kingdom of Kush, in modern-day Sudan, actually built more. Over 255 pyramids stand in Meroe, Sudan, compared to Egypt's 118. Built between 800 BCE and 350 CE, these Kushite pyramids are smaller and steeper than their Egyptian counterparts. Their influence on later architectural styles, like those in Aksum, Ethiopia, is undeniable. What about female leadership? We often hear about Cleopatra, but Africa boasts a rich history of powerful female rulers. Queen Amenarinas of Kush, who reigned from 40 to 10 BC, famously led her armies against the Roman legions, even defeating them at Aswan in 25 BC. She forced Emperor Augustus to negotiate a treaty, a remarkable achievement. And even earlier, Queen Ahotep of Egypt led armies against the Hyksos invaders in 1560 BC. These women were not mere figureheads, they were strategic military leaders who shaped the course of history. Let's revisit the Great Wall of Benin. Its sheer scale is hard to fathom. Imagine a structure so vast that it dwarfed the Great Wall of China. The walls were not just a defensive structure, they were an integral part of the region's agricultural system, supporting farming and irrigation. Now, let's go back to the Eshango bone. The 168 notches weren't random. They were carefully arranged in 3 columns, suggesting a deep understanding of mathematical principles. One column tracks doubling 2, 4, 8. Another displays prime numbers, and the third seems to follow lunar phases. This isn't just early math, it's evidence of complex cognitive abilities. The Swaziland mine, the oldest in the world, wasn't just a simple pit. Miners descended 30-meter shafts, using fire-setting techniques to break the rock. The red ochre they extracted was used for pigment, some of which has been found in the Blombos cave art in South Africa, dating back 77,000 years. Let's turn to Kush's iron monopoly. Meroe became a major iron smelting center around 800 BC, producing an estimated 5 to 10 tons of iron annually. This iron was exported throughout the region, even to Rome. Kush controlled the Saharan trade routes, becoming so powerful that it is even thought to have bankrupted Carthage by 146 BC. The ruins of Great Zimbabwe showcase incredible engineering skills. Constructed between the 11th and 15th centuries CE, these stone walls, reaching up to 11 meters high, were built without mortar. The mortarless chevron patterns have withstood over 800 years of weathering. This is a testament to the ingenuity and skill of the builders. The Homo remains discovery revolutionized our understanding of human origins, solidifying the Out of Africa model. This discovery challenged Eurocentric views and reframed Africa as the cradle of humankind. The Ngwenya mine and the Eshango bone challenged colonial narratives that portrayed Africa as primitive. These discoveries proved that Africans were engaged in complex technological and intellectual pursuits millennia ago. The Katanda harpoons demonstrate that early Africans were not simply hunter-gatherers, but skilled engineers who developed technologies to thrive. The Kush pyramids, smaller and steeper than their Egyptian counterparts, advanced cobbled architecture, influencing later styles in Aksum, Ethiopia. Mansa Musa, the ruler of the Mali Empire in the 14th century, was one of the wealthiest individuals in history. His pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324 was legendary, with a caravan of 60,000 people including 12,000 slaves, and 500 camels carrying 24 tons of gold. His lavish spending devalued gold in the Mediterranean for years. UNESCO's General History of Africa project involved 35 African nations and over 550 experts, aiming to counter colonial narratives and highlight Africa's rich pre-colonial history. The Homo sites in Ethiopia serve as potent symbols of national identity. Sudan's Kush legacy is driving tourism, with Meroe attracting thousands of visitors each year. The Eshango bone is featured in DRC curricula, inspiring future generations of scientists and mathematicians. The UNESCO series informs the African Union's Agenda 2063, promoting African solutions to African problems. Nigeria's knock iron technology connects to modern steel production. Mali's gold trade continues to be a significant part of its economy. South Africa's Blombos art is boosting creative industries. The Africanity of ancient Egypt has been a subject of debate, while early scholars attempted to separate Egypt from Africa. Modern DNA evidence and the work of scholars like Cheikh Anta Diop support the African origins of Egyptian civilization. The UNESCO project faced delays, with some Western scholars pushing back against the inclusion of certain perspectives. The Benin bronzes, looted by the British in 1897, are now being repatriated, symbolizing a step towards historical justice. Some Afrocentric claims, such as the Great Wall of Benin being longer than the Great Wall of China, have been debated. However, the sheer scale of the Benin earthworks remains impressive. Archaeological gaps in Africa, due to colonial neglect, highlight the need for increased research and funding. The ongoing conflict in Sudan endangers the Meroe pyramids. Funding biases still favor Egyptology over other areas of African archaeology. So, how many of these facts did you already know? The rich and complex history of Africa is still being uncovered, with each new discovery challenging our understanding of the past. What overlooked aspect of African history do you find most fascinating? Share your thoughts in the comments below.